Hello everybody. Yes, I am just in the process of making some tumblers. So that's my sort of model one over there. Stick this camera up here. Tripod. And yeah, something like that. Hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, these guys are thrown. They're 14 ounces, okay? And yeah, let's make a couple. I'll talk about them as I go. So I've set a gauge for these, and they are 6 inches, so just a little bit above 6 inches. 14 ounces of clay. I have my gauge set here. Yeah, it's blowing outside, it's cold, it's like squalls of snow blowing through. Every now and again we get complete whiteout. So yeah, these basically are, of course they're basically cylinders, aren't they? Yeah, somebody wrote to me and wanted to know if I could make them some tumblers, so I said, yeah, I think I can. So so I didn't want to make just a straight cylinder, you see. I wanted to design a tumbler that I felt good about, that the shape was a little bit more interesting than rather than as just a straight cylinder. So you'll notice that these begin to have a bit of a belly here, and then they go narrow about here, and then they slightly flare. It's always nice to drink out of something that has a slight flare to it, you know. So sort of rather gentle curve there on the belly. And not as simple to make as you might think, because of the, I mean, of course, just making a straight cylinder would be arguably easier. Yep. So So putting this stick in down the base here. So be careful when you put your stick in at the bottom of any pot, because you can knock it off center. And that's not good. Oops. So just using my throwing stick here just to clean the outside, and I try just to, you see what I'm doing there with that action by going like that? Try to create a bit of a taper on the lip here, but it's tapered from the inside to the outside. All right. Next, leather. Whoop. So I tend to think that when you leather, you should leather before you let's go through some of the things that we should do when we finish a pot, shall we? Finish the foot down here, all right? And make sure you put in a bevel, number one. Number two, use your leather and leather the rim. No pressure, lightly, okay? After you've leathered, sponge. Okay, and after you've sponged, cut through. Alright? La 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 la. Well, let's have a quick look at him. Yeah, let's have a quick look. Now this lens will distort the form. Sometimes it's better if I bring it in a bit like that. Okay. So this is a throwing stick here, not a throwing stick, a chopstick with a zip tie hot glued there, so that if I do knock it, okay. Now he's got a bevel at the bottom there. I don't know if you can make that out, but he's got a bevel in there. Okay, that's very important when it comes to thumbing off, fettling. All right. Okay, let's lift him off and we'll do one more. So clean hands. Use a cut-off wire that's twisted, and you'll be able to lift off your pots easily. Put him down there. Let's do one more. So we're going to look some water here that's warm, okay, not hot. Don't use hot water in the winter. You'll end up with very rough hands. Should we bring that camera in? Somebody out there will want to see a bit more closely, won't they? A little bit more detail. How about that? Yeah. Just talk about the shape of this just for a moment. So, not dead straight, a little bit of form to it, a little bit of a more narrow here, but then you'll notice very slightly flaring out here, you see. On the inside here, tapered from the inside to the outside, okay? Not just tapered like that, but tapered from the inside to the outside. In other words, you keep the exterior form of the pot, but it's actually thinned as it gets because it's tapered from the inside. That makes it nice to drink out of, okay? If you flare it, you see you don't really want the flare to go beyond the width of the belly. I'm trying not to anyway. I'm trying to be mindful of that, okay, to keep this diameter here slightly less than the diameter here in the belly. Alright, so let's do this one. Yeah, I've got another couple more lumps after this, but to do. So cone up and then center down. Breaking in. And now widening the inside base like that. Now collar him in, or code him in, like that. And now getting underneath, posture like that. Outside hand is below the inside hand. Take note of that. Okay. And lift. And pull the clay up slowly in a conical fashion. Like that. Add water and then add your hand to it like that to spread the water, okay? Now getting underneath the clay again. Pulling the clay up. Looking for the gauge. My friend, the gauge. Where would I be without the gauge? Be in a right mess, wouldn't I? Okay, let's do another lift. Pulling up. Very slightly widening there now, you notice? Coming up, looking for the gauge. There we are, we're right up to the gauge. Now, narrowing it a bit at the top there. You really gain a lot of consistency in with your pots, with your throwing, if you use a gauge. Basically, the gauge helps you to distribute the clay. You see, and that's important, isn't it? To know to get that clay out of the bottom of the pots and get it up. Because that's not something we're all good at, is it, when we start, getting the clay out of the corners. Alright, so not only looking for the gauge, but looking for the shape. Alright, you want to get the form right. The little subtle nuances of the form. Okay, now, throwing stick down to the bottom here, gently to start with. Alright. You need to be gentle, you see, because when you stick a piece of wood in at the bottom of a pot like that, it creates a lot of drag right at the bottom of the pot. And what that does is pull the top out of whack. You've ever done that before? Pull the top of your pot out. It's easy to do, and I actually do it myself more than I ought to. You should practice what you preach, Simon. You're dead right. So, but it's a case of having to remind yourself, you see. Remind yourself. Now, using the throwing stick as a kind of rib to clean the exterior of the pot, just to get rid of the slurry, you know. It makes it a bit easier to get off the wheel, you see, if you take the slurry away. More than a bit easier, it makes it a whole lot easier. Okay. How's that looking? Okay. See, the more that you pull in the base here, or make it narrow in the base, you make it narrow in the foot or the base, it makes the belly stick out more, you see? It does indeed. Okay, we've been fairly close in there. Let's just pull that back a bit. There we go. Yeah, 14 ounces. So now the next thing is leather. Just hold it over the lip, so real soft, you know, don't push down on it. No pressure there, just nice and easy, you know. Take a sponge stick. If you haven't got a sponge stick, make one, and you can go to one of my videos and I show you, I think, how to make them. Or you can go to my channel, my website, and you can purchase one if you want. You can buy ones like this as well, or variants on this. I like this, it's good. See, if you haven't got a sponge stick, how are you going to get the water out? Without, you've got to stick your hand down there and then you wreck the pot, don't you? By okie dokie. Cut off wire. So, a cut off wire for your wheel, all right, should be about 12 inches long, no longer. And it should have one toggle a bit bigger than the other. That means it'll always keep in your tray here. It won't fall out on the floor. And this is twisted nylon, okay, which will give you a nice spiral on the bottom of your pots. But even better than that, it'll get air in underneath the pot, which will help you to be able to lift the pot off the wheel. So always cut off with the wheel going around very slowly, like as you see. Okay, stop the wheel. Lift like this, okay, not like this with your fingertips. Lift with the palms of your hands, this shape. Off he comes, easy peasy. Just put him down here. There he goes. That's it. Hey, thanks for joining us, folks. SimonLeachPottery.com is my website. If you go there, you will see that we do have some tools for sale of different kinds. paddles, trim tools, etc. If that interests you, go there, have a look. I'm taking orders on LEACH treadle wheels. If you're interested in a LEACH treadle wheel, or you want to know how much it would cost for shipping to your zip code, write to me. I'll give you a quote, get a price quote for that for you. If you're interested in learning on a workshop, I do workshops here in the studio beginning in April, running through till November, pretty much. So write to me if you have a date that you'd like to come. Check the dates on the website. You'll see the dates there. You'll see also lodging suggestions. Here in our locality, you can do a B&B for a couple of nights or longer if you want to. And so go there, have a look. If there's a date that you want or you're interested in, write to me and ask me about it, and I'll tell you if it's available. At the moment, I've got quite a lot of open spaces, so you should be okay. But write to me anyway first, and then you need to mail me a check for $75 to reserve your place. Okay folks, I hope that's been of interest to you. Making a tumbler, just a regular tumbler, no handle. So you can make them as simply as you want to, or you can add a little bit of form to them like I have. Think about the design, think about, is it practical? Does it feel good in the hand? Does it feel good in the lip? Is the base the right size, or is it just going to get knocked over? You see? Think about those sorts of things. The functional, practical aspects of making anything, you see, it needs a certain amount of design, doesn't it? And okay, that's all. Class dismissed. But keep practicing. Yes sirree, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.